It is a league week opener here on the Coach's Perspective here on Riverside TV, as we have a lot of big games coming up going into league play. But before we do anything, I must introduce my co-host, my best friend in the whole world, Pep Fernandez. How are you tonight, Pep? Where are you?
Jeff, you already know, man. Nobody loves girls flag football as much as me. I've got La Sierra versus Ramona going on behind me right now. And then a little bit later tonight, your Norte Vista Braves will be in action. Another big night of River Valley League girls flag football.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was talking to their coach today, and Norte Vista is well, if they win tonight, they will be tied, I believe, for second place with Ramona, because Ramona beat Loma Linda Academy yesterday. So it is all on the line for second place. But there's somebody walking live behind you, like you said. But there is, I think Patriot is ranked number 1 and undefeated in that league.
Yeah, I actually saw Patriot. They're really good. And I know you were impressed with Loma Linda Academy. So the River Valley League for girls flag football is actually super competitive. So the battle for second place rages on right now.
Well, Ramona took care of Loma Linda. Before I go here, or before we get going, I got an envelope today in the mail from the awards that we won. What were the awards that you hosted?
The Star Awards?
The Star Awards, where I did sweep. Oh, that's right, I did sweep. But they sent this in their envelope. I think it was 32 cents right there. There it is. There it is.
I should get 2 of those, because the pep rally got second and third, I think, in its category.
Yeah, but you didn't win, so they mailed this in an envelope. So I'm going to give this to you Friday night on the pep rally. How wonderful is this prize? Look at that thing; it's huge.
It's an honor just to be nominated.
Let's put it in perspective. There it is, right there. There it is. I'm going to drink out of it. Right
yeah, you can take communion out of there.
Congratulations once again on getting second place, as always, for the second best show in the city of Riverside. But how exciting is it going into league? We have a River Valley. You have undefeated undefeated Norte Vista versus the state champion Ramona Rams. How are you looking in? Novi's playing Patriot first round of league. What are your thoughts on the River Valley League?
You know, Patriot's good. Patriot looks like a playoff team. So I think that will be somewhat of a competitive game right against Norte Vista. Coach Fowler always does such a great job. He'll have them ready to take on a very good Brave squad. But yeah, it's hard not to look to next week when Ramona will play Norte Vista, and both teams will probably be 6-0, like 2 undefeated teams going head to head. So it's hard not to look past that. I think Ramona has La Sierra, and then Norte Vista has Patriot. So, yeah, it's shaping up to have that collision course for the Rams and the Braves next week.
Well, we have big news. I don't know if I've shared it. I have not. But Ken Mashinsky, I was able to call him on his boat, his yacht, in Newport or Huntington this past weekend, and I informed him he is going on the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame Wall of Distinction. So Coach Mush is going on the wall this year. Oh, hi, there's my kid that just walked by. That was Luke. He had to say hello. But Ken Mashinsky going into the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame Wall of Distinction.
Hey, well-deserved. If you win a CIF Southern Section title, you win a state championship. Like, what else can you do, right? That's as big as it gets. So congratulations to Coach Mush. And well-deserved. Remember, he was at King as well. And then, of course, what he's done at Ramona has been well-documented by us here, on Riverside TV and the Friday Night Pep Rally. So he deserves it, man. If you win a championship, you need to be on there.
And he has over 102 wins now in his career. We covered his 100th, and I'm so happy for him. But we have the River Valley League. We've talked about them. But Poly now. Poly is they're a weird kind of team. They played a tough schedule. Their record doesn't indicate how good they are, but they're starting a new league as well. And they could creep in and maybe get back into the playoffs and do some damage.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, Poly, at least in my estimate, looks like a playoff team. But here's my concern, Jeff. This Poly versus Hemet game this week, I thought it might be the biggest game, in the IE, maybe in the city of Riverside at least. But Poly, I mean, they really came out and underwhelmed in their homecoming game against the Redlands Terriers this past Saturday night at Wheelock Stadium at RCC. So I'm trying to figure out what the Poly Bears are all about. They play, Ramona tough one week, and then they get blown out by, a decent Redlands squad. So I'm still trying to figure them out. But I really thought Poly versus Hemet this week would be one of the biggest games in our area.
Well, I will say this. Poly is, they're going through some midlife or mid-season crisis. I did see something pretty special in the last game we called for him, was their backup quarterback, a sophomore. He sounded like he had a Norwegian name or Swedish name. I'm telling you this, sophomore big back looked like Teddy Bridgewater. And I think when he was in the ball game, he was dynamic enough. He hit his head and he had to get out of the game. But I think with Poly, him at the helm, I think they could cause some big problems.
And maybe that's the case. Maybe they're still trying to figure things out going forward into league play. But, they better not take too long because they've got some huge games. Obviously Hemet is 5-0. The Bulldogs look great. One of the best teams in the IE, I would say. And then right around the corner, that game against Hillcrest is always going to be tough. You've got Arlington in your league. People are excited about Rancho Christian. Rancho Christian is supposed to have all these new guys into the program. So, honestly, in the Sun Belt League, there are no days off. Every game is going to matter, and it's a huge one for the Bears right out of the gate. I just don't know what to expect because of what they did against Redlands this past week.
Well, like I said, I think we mentioned this on your show one of the Friday nights. Rancho Christian has a brand new quarterback from Rancho Cucamonga High School, yep. And I think he's eligible to play. That could cause some big ripples in that league. But we have to go over to our other Riverside school is Jason McMains and the King Wolves. They struggled their last outing going against Marietta Valley. That's a tough one, but you got to start league play, and that's a gauntlet.
Yeah, it's hard playing the Nighthawks right before league play because right before league, you want to feel good about yourself. You want to go in with some confidence and some momentum. And to play Marietta Valley for your one and only loss on the season so far, that was tough. But to get the guys back on the right track, you got Santiago coming up, and that should be a win for the King Wolves. And just like the last couple of years, King, Great Oak, Marietta Mesa, it's going to come down to those three teams again when you talk about that Big West Lower league title at the end.
Well, Pep, we've talked enough about those guys, but we have another big game this week. It's the Battle of the Maroons as Hillcrest is going to take on Arlington High School. It's an old River Valley rivalry, now has gone on to a different league. What are your thoughts? That'd be our big game on Friday night.
Yeah, you know what? I have to remind myself that it's not River Valley, that it's actually Sun Belt League. I'm going to have to reinforce that because, it is a big one because I feel like in the Sun Belt League, literally, Jeff, it is wide open. Even Valley View is much improved, and they're having a good season. So I feel like I'm probably sounding way over dramatic here, but I feel like every single game in the Sun Belt League is like a playoff game because if you fall a game or two behind everybody else, you're not going to be able to make it back up because I think it's so competitive, and I don't think anyone's going to go undefeated. I got that feeling like the winner of this league might have one loss, but you can't fall too far behind. I think we might have multiple teams at like 3-2 or 2-3, and to get that playoff spot, I think it is going to be a battle. So even though here we are in week 6, Arlington versus Hillcrest, in my book, it's almost like a playoff game. Like the loser of this game is going to have an uphill battle to get back into a playoff spot.
And what's great about these guys is they're friends, and we've had we're going to have them on later on in the show here, but that's going to be a good one. We have Saturday RCC, who lost at Golden West. They kind of took care of business the other day against Palomar. They put up, they were 17-14 at halftime, and then they blew the doors off of Palomar. How good? I'm telling you this. I think RCC is as good or better than last year. They just took their lump early. Their snake bit loss.
You know what? And we've seen this from RCC in the past. Like rarely do you have like a perfect complete season, right? Where you go undefeated and blow everybody out. Like it's almost better to have some sort of a setback in the middle of the season to kind of find yourself and retool some things. So, losing to Golden West was not the worst thing in the world. It's happened before to RCC, and they came back and had a great season and won a title. So they got MSJC coming up, and of course that's another Inland Empire school. And Mount San Jacinto, actually, they've had some good teams. Like this is not a cakewalk for the Tigers. So we'll see how this one plays out. Should RCC be the heavy favorite? Yes, of course. The Tigers will be the heavy favorite, but MSJC formidable this coming Saturday.
Well, I'll tell you what, Pep, I believe you're going to be on the sidelines for that one. And then Gazal will be on with us Friday night and Saturday. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to have the two coaches in the battle for Maroon in the city of Riverside with the great Travis Carter and Kevin Argamosa. We're going to come back with you, Pep, at the very end of the show, talk about those inland sports rankings and who made it in, who made it out. We'll be right back here on The Coach's Perspective on Riverside TV. And we are back here on The Coach's Perspective, and we are in week 1 of the league, but technically, I think week 5 for the season. And we are now joined by the great coach, the handsome son of a gun, wearing a bucket hat, Travis Carter of Hillcrest. How are you, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, Jeff? Doing well, man. Just getting done with practice up here at Hillcrest, so can't beat it.
Well, I always say that you look like a fighter pilot. You look like you really do. You look like a fighter pilot on a holiday, hanging out in the sunshine behind you, the blue skies. How are you feeling? Are you in blue skies with the Hillcrest Trojans?
Yeah, you know what? We're feeling good. Coming off a bye week, good opportunity to kind of get some guys healthy and fix some issues we were having. And so yeah, we're feeling good. We're ready to go for a tough Sun Belt League, which I think it's going to be.
Well, yeah, that was my next question. Is you guys are leaving my favorite conference, the River Valley League, and then joining this new stuff, and you're joining with the guy you're playing on Friday night, Arlington High School. What are your thoughts about leaving the River Valley League?
Yeah, I mean, we had a good time there in the River Valley League. We liked playing all of those teams. Last couple of years, it was obviously pretty competitive, but we're excited about the new challenge. This league that we're going into, including Arlington, from really top to bottom, it's a bunch of teams that I think all the games are going to be competitive. So we're excited. It should be fun. Some new opponents. Travel to some new fields, and we're ready for it.
What are you going to miss most about the River Valley League? I can tell you right now, I bet it's Ken Batdorf.
Yeah, no, I mean, that league, we got along well with all the coaches there. Definitely had, kind of a camaraderie there with Batdorf and Mush and Fowler and, but Argamosa's coming over here with me. So, it should be a good time.
Well, all I know is every time I talk to Batdorf and I mention you, I go, hey, he's beat you a bunch of times. Talking about you, Travis Carter.
No, I mean, I never did any of that, but the kids did a couple times, and they beat us, more times than not as well. So
yeah, but he's old.
Definitely had some good battles.
But he's old. He'll forget in about 2 weeks who he played last week. Well, Coach, tell me about some of your playmakers. You're kind of a Swiss Army knife team. You like to run the ball. You can throw. You're athletic. A lot like Ramona, I thought, which, I compared you and Mushinski, but tell us about your offense, your great pieces you have around you right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, our defense has been carrying the load lately. They're coming off 2 shutouts. Robert Bustamante, number 5, has been, leading us in the middle there at middle linebacker. Zaire Guerrero has been, playing tremendous on outside. Our DBs, Nico Bernal, Noah Mayweather have been playing outstanding as well. So yeah, defensively, we've been playing some good football. We, were able to get 2 shutouts, which, all credit to, our guys, our players, and, our defensive coaching staff led by, our defensive coordinator, Josh Mason. And then offensively, we've kind of been a work in progress. We've put up some points in some games. Last week we struggled a little bit, but I've been happy with the growth we've had on that side of the ball. Led by our guys up front, we got some guys stepping up. Cameron Stubner's stepped in, moved from linebacker to playing some offensive line, and we got other guys, Isaiah Davis, Jose Beltran, Noe Zuniga, guys just playing really good football over there. And so I've been happy with those guys. Gabriel Vallejo just really stepping up, and our offense goes when they go. So, guys like, Matt Ramos obviously been having a pretty good year, throwing, running, receivers. Julian Sandoval has had a good year, running backs. Louis Fajardo, Alfredo Vences, they've been having good years, but, it's all because of those guys up front.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm excited. You guys have played Arlington a few times over the past few years, being in the same league. I know you really like the guy over there. I don't know why he should have quit after he went to the state championship. But we do love Kevin Argamosa. What do you think about them? They have surprised me this year.
Yeah, I mean, he always does an exceptional job over there. Arlington's always really well coached on both sides of the ball, as well as their special teams. But yeah, they've been impressive this year. The quarterback they got, I mean, when he takes off, he's scary. And then I think they're just, kids play hard. They're physical. They're well coached. They don't make a lot of mistakes. So they're a tough team.
Hey, and remember, they have a basketball player, coach, Lincoln Liggins. He's luscious, as they say.
Yeah, he's a good ball player.
Yeah, he's stealing. And when you talk to Argamosa, say, stop stealing those basketball players. You have Jackson Wood up there on the hill. Why don't you have Jackson Wood give you some of those big 7-footers, and they can be like a tight end?
Yeah, no, that'd be nice. We got some athletes in the basketball program as well. But no, we're happy with the crew we got this year. I mean, our kids are working hard. They're getting better. They're playing hard. I think they're having some fun out there. Coming off, I hate bye weeks. It's just, you're just itching to play another game. So I'm excited about this Friday.
Well, I'll tell you what, the only thing I got from the last couple of days is getting ready for this game is recruit those giant 7-footers and tell them to share athletes, or I'm going to make fun of them. And 2, have a fun game against Arlington High School. I get to see you again. I get to see Argamosa, and I think you guys are 2 fun teams to watch. And I'll see you Friday night, my friend.
Yeah, we look forward to it, man. We appreciate all you guys do covering us. Hopefully Hillcrest goes out there and, represents the city of Riverside well. And I'll tell Jackson to give me some of those 7-footers as well.
Yeah, and I'm only covering you, coaches, because I get paid. If I wasn't getting paid, I'd probably cover somebody else.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
Well, he is the great coach, Travis Carter of Hillcrest. Thank you for your time. Like I said, we'll see you Sunday or Friday night, 7 p.m. here on Riverside TV. Go Trojans! All right, those are the coaches in the big game coming up Friday night here on Riverside TV. I'm joined once again by my dear friend wearing a funny-looking shirt and earbuds, and he is somewhere in the heart of San Bernardino. I believe Indian Springs High School as the Battle of the Flags rule on. Hello, Pep. Welcome back.
Yeah, hey, what's up, Jeff? Yeah, checking out some girls flag football. You can see some highlights on the next Inside Riverside because the River Valley League is a little bit different. You got Loma Linda Academy in there. You got Indian Springs. So it's not those traditional River Valley League schools because not everyone is playing girls flag football yet. But behind me, as we do this interview, we got Ramona taking on La Sierra and your Norte Vista Braves coming up in the nightcap, the main event under the lights later tonight.
Well, don't listen to any of those coaches at Norte Vista. Matt Cow and Coach Ali, they talk a lot of game. But I'll tell you what, they could be in second place with Ramona with a win tonight over Indian Springs. But before we go, can you tell us the movement in the Inland Sports Top 25 Boost performance?
All right, so we still have Norte Vista at number 10. They cracked the top 10. They're 5-0. They deserved it. We talked about it last week. They earned it. They deserved it. They're number 10. But Ramona also at 5-0. They are climbing the rankings very, very quickly, as is Hillcrest at 4-1. So when you take a look at those River Valley League schools, they are on the move. And then King High School also at 4-1. They're inside our top 15. The good news, Jeff, with a lot of these rankings, people are concerned about like, oh, well, you have them ranked too high or maybe too low. The good news is a lot of these schools are going to go head-to-head, so they will decide it on the field. Does Norte Vista need to be that much higher than Ramona? We're going to find out next week. Is King, do they really deserve to be higher than Great Oak and Murrieta Mesa? Well, guess what? They're also going to play head-to-head in the next couple of weeks, so that's the best part. A lot of these hypothetical rankings that we have out there right now, we are going to decide it on the field in the next couple of weeks. So the rankings will work itself out, trust me.
Well, Pep, thank you for everything you do in the world, and congratulations once again for getting second place behind. Well, you did, behind Live Sports, and you still got second, which is, like I said, great award. They mailed it to me in an envelope. Congratulations, Pep. I'll see you Friday night in the studio for the Pep Rally, the greatest Friday night show ever.
Double thumbs up for you. I will see you in the studio Friday night for the pep rally. Come on, let's go.
All right, that'll do it for the Coach's Perspective here on Riverside TV as we enter league play. Make sure you tune in every Friday night for the Friday Night Pep Rally with Pep Fernandez and yours truly at 11 p.m. live and amplified on YouTube TV at Riverside TV. I'm Jeff Gorham. Good night, everybody.